The whispers of the ancient cedars. The wind, a storyteller etched with the sorrow of ages, no longer carried tales of abundance, but instead, a dry lament of the parched valley. It sighed through the once mighty cedar trees, now brittle and thinning, their roots, once a vast embrace with the earth, now struggling against the unrelenting drought. For countless generations, this valley had been home to the people of the cedar, their very souls intertwined with the vibrant pulse of the land, their profound wisdom woven into the fabric of their lives, whispered from elder to child like the rustling leaves of a forgotten song. But these recent winds, sharp and cruel, had brought new stories too. Stories of desperate departures, of young ones seeking solace in distant, sterile cities, of the ancient tongues falling silent, of ceremonies that felt like echoes in an empty room. Young Elias, whose heart should have soared with the eagles, felt only the crushing weight of this dying world. He saw the hunting grounds, once teeming with life, now barren. The sacred river, once a laughing companion, reduced to a desperate weeping thread. His grandmother, Aya, with eyes that held the infinite depth of the night sky and the sorrow of 1,000 sunsets, still spoke of spirits and ancestors, of the sacred breath in every living thing. But to Elias, these were no longer comforting tales. They were ghosts of a vibrant past, haunting a present devoid of magic. Grandmother, Elias confessed one crisp morning, his voice a raw whisper of despair. I watch them leave. I feel the old songs dying in my throat. What strength is there in remembering, when every day the world asks us to forget everything we are? My heart feels like this dry earth, cracked and empty. Aya paused, her hands gnarled like the oldest cedar roots, meticulously weaving a basket from brittle, dried reeds. Her movements were slow, deliberate, each strand a prayer. "The strength, my grandson," she murmured, her voice like soft rain on a thirsty land, "is not in forgetting, but in anchoring. A tree does not forget its roots when its branches reach for the sun, even if the sun burns fierce. The wind may howl, it may strip the leaves, but it does not uproot the mountain. Your spirit feels lost because it seeks a river that has seemingly vanished. But the river has only gone deep within. It still flows. You must learn to listen for its song. A song born not of joy alone, but of enduring sorrow and unbreakable hope." Elias longed, desperately, to believe her. But the noise of the outside world, the gnawing hunger in his own belly, the silent grief in his people's eyes, was a deafening roar. He remembered vividly when the old gathering tree, a magnificent cedar that had stood for countless generations, collapsed in a great storm just a season ago. Its fall was not just the descent of wood. It was the shattering of a sanctuary, a piece of their collective soul tearing away. Despite Aya's gentle words, the wound in the community and in his own heart remained raw and bleeding. "Come," Aya said suddenly, her gaze piercing his despair. "We will go to the place where the grandfather cedar fell. We will sit with its memory. We will listen." Reluctantly, Elias followed, his feet dragging over the sun-baked ground. The journey was long, deeper into the parched forest than he usually dared venture, past trees whose leaves hung limp and brown, past the hushed silence where birds once sang. When they reached the clearing, the sheer enormity of the fallen tree was even more devastating. Its ancient trunk lay sprawled across the earth like a fallen giant, a colossal, heartbreaking monument to both life and agonizing loss. Aya sat down beside the fallen giant, her hand resting on its rough, splintered bark, a gesture of profound respect and shared sorrow. "This tree," she whispered, her voice a tremor of ancient grief, "it stood for perhaps 1,000 years. It breathed with our ancestors through joyous feasts and through the terrible days of forced journeys. Its roots held the soil when the land was stolen. Its shade cooled the weary who carried unbearable burdens. Its branches housed the nests of hawks that watched over our disappearing people." She closed her eyes, and a single tear traced a path through the dust on her cheek. "Do you hear it, Elias? The whispers? The unwept tears carried on the wind?" Elias heard only the distant, mocking hum of machinery from beyond the valley, the dry rustle of desperate leaves. He felt the cold ache of irreparable loss, a hollow void where comfort should be. "I hear only silence, grandmother," he admitted, his voice a choked sob. "A terrible silence." Aya opened her eyes, their ancient depths filled with both sorrow and an unyielding light. "Silence holds the deepest truths, my child. Look at this fallen giant. Is it truly gone?" Elias shook his head, hot tears blurring his vision. "It is dead. It is no longer standing." "True," Aya conceded, her voice softening with infinite compassion. "But its roots, though hidden, are still entwined with the earth's deepest waters. Its fallen needles, shed over centuries of life, now nourish the very soil it rests upon. Its magnificent trunk, though broken, will become home for new life, sheltering the small creatures, slowly returning to the earth to enrich it once more. It has simply changed its form, my grandson. It has returned to the earth, not to vanish, but to nurture." She took Elias's trembling hand and pressed it gently against the rough, broken bark of the cedar. "Just as our ancestors return, not to vanish into nothingness, but to become part of the land, part of the wind, part of the very air we breathe. Their strength, their songs, their stories, their unending love, they are still here, in the earth beneath our feet, in the wind that whispers your name, in the beat of your own heart. When you grieve, it is because you are connected, and that connection, my grandson, cannot be broken. It simply demands a different kind of listening now, a listening with the soul, not just the ears." As Elias pressed his hand against the tree, a profound, undeniable warmth seemed to pulse through the ancient wood, flowing into his very being. He closed his eyes, and a lifetime of unspoken sorrow, of frustration, of feeling adrift, came crashing down. The distant hum of machinery vanished. The rustling leaves seemed to shift, transforming into a rhythmic breathing, a chorus of timeless voices. He thought of his grandfather, gone but not truly gone. He saw his people's history, their endurance through unimaginable famines, forced displacements, and crushing losses. He saw the raw, beautiful resilience of the cedar, falling yet giving, nourishing even in its demise. And for the first time, not with his ears, but with every fiber of his being, he heard it, a profound, beautiful hum beneath, the silence a chorus of ancestral voices, carried on the wind, singing songs of enduring strength, of unwavering spirit, of unbroken ties to the land and to each other. It was the song of the land, the song of his people, the song of the cedar, and now it was his song too. Tears, hot and cleansing, streamed down Elias's face, washing away years of arid despair. They were not tears of hopelessness, but of profound recognition, of grief finally giving way to a sense of sacred belonging. The spirit wasn't gone. It had simply been waiting, patiently, for him to learn how to open his heart and listen again. He felt the weight of the generations on his shoulders, not as a crushing burden, but as an immense, living strength that flowed into him from the very ground beneath his feet. From that day forward, Elias's gaze held a new depth, reflecting the light of his rediscovered purpose. He still saw the challenges, the encroaching world, but he also saw the unyielding, vibrant spirit of his people, alive in every sunrise, every ancient tree, every shared breath. He began to learn the old songs from grandmother Aya, not as relics, but as living breaths of truth. He helped care for the land, not just for practical sustenance, but with a profound spiritual reverence for its sacred essence. He started teaching the younger children the language, telling them the stories of the people of the cedar, the very same tales his grandmother had woven for him. The fallen grandfather cedar became their new gathering place, not a monument to loss, but a powerful, living symbol of enduring strength and boundless rebirth. And though the winds of change continued to blow, Elias now stood firm his own roots, deepened his heart open, listening always for the song that flowed eternally beneath the surface, the unwavering whisper of his ancestors, carried by the wind, echoing through the ancient cedars, and now resonating with profound love and hope within his own awakened, cherished heart. Thank you for sharing this journey with us. If this story, the whispers of the ancient cedars, resonated with your own heart, if it stirred something within you, we invite you to share your voice in the comments below. What did it awaken in you? Your reflections are a vital part of our community. And if you seek more tales that touch the soul, stories that offer solace and strength, remember to like this video and subscribe to The Thought and Tales. Your presence here helps our own story continue to grow.